So what's up everyone, Zach D Productions here, and I'm here with an album review for you guys. So for this review, I'll be reviewing the new album from Architects, The Sky, the Earth, and In Between, the brand new studio record from Architects. Now some of you may be surprised that I'm reviewing an Architects album on this channel, considering that I've never reviewed anything from this band on this channel before. But Brian delivers you the goods. Shout out to him. He actually recommended me to check out this album. And to be honest, from what I've heard from this band, I was never too big of a fan of. That's why for a while I've been passing them off. I mean, I've definitely heard the name Architects before. I know who they are. I definitely know people that are fans of this band. Just kind of passed them off. Basically was just like, well, just another modern metalcore band to throw in the pile. That's basically what my mentality was with this band. However, after listening to this new record, I can't really say that that mentality has changed. I was not really the biggest fan of this album, if I'm being honest. With that said, there are some good songs on this album. There are a few songs that I actually did enjoy. And that's better than nothing, I think. So overall, this album was kind of just a mixed bag for me. And obviously, one of my biggest problems with this album is it's just another modern metalcore record. And see, this is my problem with a lot of metalcore, because I know that some people praise modern metalcore. And you know what? Brian delivers. If you like modern metalcore, more power to you. It's just personally not for me. But I think my issue with it is a lot of it is very emo sounding. Like, I think metalcore needs to get out of this emo rut that they've been in for a while now. Like, metalcore has kind of lost its way, I think, in the early 2010s, I want to say. Like, the early 2010s was when the emo stuff was pretty big, and I think metalcore just had the hardest time getting out of that, and they just never did get out of that. Like, they never knew how to evolve, so they just kind of stuck with, this sort of scene type stuff, this emo kind of style to their sound and everything, and their music. With that said, though, like I said, there are a few songs that I did enjoy from this album. Everything Ends, I thought, was a solid track. Landmines, I did like as well. And Curse, which is probably my favorite track on the album, I actually really do like that song. And, I think if I were to return to anything from this record, it would be that one. I can definitely see myself returning to that song, Curse. It honestly sounds like a song that I would have liked back in my early days of being into metal and metalcore in general, because metalcore was basically my introduction to the metal genre, for those that don't know. And it kind of reminds me of a song like that, so I can definitely see myself returning to that song, the song Curse. It's actually a pretty good track, one of the highlights on the album for sure. Now, the lead singer, I don't know his name, so keep that in mind. The lead singer, I do think he has a very good voice. I actually do like his vocals when he's singing. Now, I'm not sure if there's another vocalist in the band that does the harsh vocals, or if there's just one guy that does the singing and the screaming. I'm not really sure on that. You guys have to realize that I'm not really as well versed into Architects. I'm not as familiar with them as some fans are. But I do like the clean vocals in this band here and there. I think that this album does have some pretty good choruses, again, particularly in songs like Landmines and Curse. So I think the guy has a good voice, but there's a lot of tracks on this album that I just didn't care for. In fact, the majority of the album I didn't care for. I'm sorry, guys. I just didn't care for most of this album. I mean, if I'm going to be listening to metalcore, I would very much rather go listen to Trivium or Demon Hunter or Killswitch Engage or something, Modern metalcore just doesn't do it for me, folks. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. I kind of just gave up on metalcore because I saw the direction that it was going in, and I was not too happy with it. I'm not happy with the direction that metalcore has been going in, and these bands are continuing to go in. Number one, they need to stop overproducing their music. You know, with the amount of electronics, the layers of electronics. I mean, that's very present on this album. Like, I don't understand why a lot of bands nowadays like have to put electronics in their sound because, you know, they want to sound all modern and all this and that. But it takes away from the talent, in my opinion. Like, if you have to like auto-tune your voice and if you have to, you know, shove electronics in there, I think it takes away from the talent, in my opinion. And once again, the emo stuff, I mean, when are these bands going to realize that it's not 2011 anymore? It's time to let go of the emo stuff, okay? Like, we need to let that go already. We need to leave this emo stuff in the past. I wish metalcore would evolve. I really do wish it would. But it doesn't look like it's going to anytime soon. And I get that there's an audience for this type of music still, which I personally don't get, but hey, to each their own, right? And again, I think that there's a few songs on this album that are good. There's a few songs on this album, like I said, that I could see myself returning to. So there's that. So overall, it's definitely a mixed bag for me. So if I were to give this album a score, I think as a bias score, like for me personally, I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10. It's basically an average album. But if you are a fan of Architects, you'd probably give this like maybe an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Who knows? But it's basically an average album for me. It's a mixed bag, you could say. So there you have it. That's my review for the new album from Architects. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.